Okay. Turns out you can actually find some pretty good non-DMCA music. I did enjoy that. I just kind of Googled that at the last second and threw that up there, so hopefully that wasn't too bad. I think we have In Defiance here in the booth with me. Let me try to make sure I have the stream muted. All right. Hello? In Defiance, you here?
It's all good. It's all working. I'm here. I'm here.
All
I'm
right.
here.
Do you
Got you.
have the link for to be spectating the draft? Like, do you see what I see? Do you see the draft?
I am seeing it both through the Twitch stream and on the right in my browser.
Okay, fantastic. So here we are with our first game of our Sunday match, first game of BTL Season 9, Week 1, Day 3. We have the Factory Hive Senior versus Mamba Mentality. Mamba Mentality being the team that I threw together like earlier this week, and the Factory Hive Senior being a completely new team to the BTL. I know almost nothing about them or almost anyone on that squad. So it'd be interesting to see how these two teams line up together. I can automatically see that they've made a mistake because I can say that they're new here because if you know the top laner of Mamba Mentality, that is Mark, that is Bullet Ride from last season. I think his current name is Mystery Bunny. If you were part of the in houses that we had a while ago, Mark was telling us how much of a crazy Maokai player he is. He was playing. He said he was playing at the Vietnamese server. I think he was traveling there for a little bit during the COVID situation. He told us he was trapped there, and he got like he got like multiple hundreds of points in Grandmaster playing only Maokai top. So long story short, you'd never give Mark Maokai, and you also never give Wayman Varus. So I mean, these are just we'll see. Maybe they did know that. I'm not sure how well they did their research. We'll see if they if they just get everything that they want. Actually, okay. I can tell you from my mentality perspective, so far we got everything we wanted in that first draft. So but what do you think so far? If you didn't know anything about these teams, what do you think of them just from a
Well,
meta
like
perspective?
the way I see it is that they wanted to. It was kind of surprising the Morgana ban, unless like the support on Mamba like actively plays it. The fact that they went for Caitlyn but then didn't opt for trying to get an early Morgana pick was very
You're
interesting to me,
right. You're
especially
right.
considering the fact that like Mamba prioritizes Maokai, which means that Ornn didn't really need to be taken in the first rotation.
Hmm.
But I still agree with like a Kayn ban as a jungler. I'm very biased. I if I'm playing any kind of tanks or any kind of like melee carries, there's nothing that's worse than playing against a Red Cane. It's honestly just awful, an awful experience playing against like Red Cane, especially when it's going to be a melee like heavy like dive comp because he's able to just sit there and like just go through your team, disrupt, heal, and then kind of just ruins your game plan. So all in all, I did like the Cane ban. I'm not sure how much it's played, but I could see it definitely ruining like the TFHS's strategy a lot. Um, but other than that, I can see what you mean because like I do like Mamba Mentality's comp at the moment a lot more, and I think a lot of that stems from the fact that the Morgana band is kind of just questionable to me, especially when they planned on taking the Caitlyn. It would have been really good into this Mamba comp too.
Yes, yes, yes. I would definitely agree. Yeah, it seems interesting to see that how much priority. So it's like you can kind of see with the blue side, the Factory Hive Senior chose Ornn with the first pick. Typically, you wouldn't choose your top laner with the first pick unless you were like really, really, really want it. So you can say that they must put a lot of priority on that Ornn pick if they're willing to like just straight up pick it first blind no matter what. We went Ornn, so that's what they decided to go with there. And it's very interesting if they're going for the Caitlyn. A lot of people go for Caitlyn Morgana because that's just a strong, solid bot lane in every situation. But they decided to not go for that. So that's very interesting. Learning some stuff about this team here. Oh God.
Oh,
Oh.
I love Mamba Mentality's comp.
Oh man. Oh man. The
I just
volley
like it.
bear.
I'm very partial to Volibear myself. Love the
Mhm.
guy, but like the fact that he's in there with a comp with Maokai, and then you've got Varus like with all the CC, it just really allows him to do what he wants. I mean, you've even got like all the Zyra for the CC as
Yeah,
well.
Varus
You've got
Zyra is a
so much like
disgusting
disruption
lane.
and
Yeah.
team fighting in Mamba that it's really hard to see this. Um,
Ooh, the Syndra pick. All right, so we will get a Mama Mentality opting to get the counter pick in the mid lane. The mid laner for Mama Mentality is Expo, in case people weren't aware of that yet. So we will be giving Expo the counter pick there, and Expo is well known as one of the best probably players of BTL's past, just in general.
what an interesting pick. I love
So
seeing Xerath into this matchup.
yeah, I think this is a really good counter pick. Actually, I think Xerath just like counters any mage that has less range than him. So pretty much all mages. Any mage that has less range than him and doesn't have a good way of getting onto his face just feels really bad to play against it. Like
Well,
I hate playing
not
against
not
Xerath.
not only that, but
Hmm.
just imagine like how easy it is for like Xerath to do a job when he's got a Maokai, a Volibear. Stranglethorn ult from Zyra,
Oh
Varus
God.
ult as well. Like Xerath
Uh
just can literally do whatever he wants. Like he's just gonna be chilling. He's gonna be throwing Qs. He's gonna be throwing Rs. Like he's like living his best life right now.
very,
And
very
then
true.
and this is another reason why I don't I think the Cinder pick wasn't really that great because like I know it's one of those like optimization type things, but like for example, when you're going against a Maokai, do you really want to play a mid laner who spams spells? Like because like especially with the Syndra, when she's just
Mm,
queuing
mm.
constantly, it's gonna really allow for Maokai's passive to come up more than it probably would have. I think what would have been better, personally, especially considering that they had to pick something blind, I would have liked to see like an Azir, for example, because I think Azir would have been really good type of disengaged to try to like and then be able to outrange a lot of Mamba mentality's comp, except for Xerath, of course. So I think an Azir would have been like a really good pick there, especially because he doesn't have to spam spells as much as a Syndra does into like a Maokai. Plus, with a Nashor's Leandri's rush, he can actually do damage to Maokai, which Syndra probably shouldn't be able to at any point in the game. I think at the moment though, I definitely value Mamba Mentality's comp a lot more because I think the problem that I see is that I see like a lot of early game focus on TFHS because obviously, um, I could see Mamba realize that as well. They looked at their jungler and
Oh, what happened? Just OTTV. Thank you. What happened?
okay then.
Ah,
So did he ban a pick?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, I was about to say because
The
like if it's just a
same
wrong ban,
thing in
that's okay.
client that you banned in pro draft, so that we can keep accurate. This is something I tried to stress a lot last season. I do want accurate. So, like a lot of people think, since we do the draft on Pro Draft, that then you can just ban whatever you want in the client to make it go faster, which is nice, I guess, to make it go faster. But I would prefer to have accurate bans in the and the clients as well, because whenever we pull stats, whenever we have the screenshots of the scoreboard, or we're pulling stats directly from the Riot API, we can only keep track of accurate ban stats. So I would like to have pick and ban stats for champions and stuff inside of BTL, because a lot of people like that, and also it's just good for analysis. But if teams don't ban the correct champions in the actual client whenever we do the bans, then that messes up all those stats. So I would like to anyone else out there that is a team that is banning, please, oh please, top laners, because it'll mostly be the top laners that ban, please ban the same thing in client that you banned in pro draft, so it can make the stat keeping easier for the rest of us. Now it's API. It is API now because I'm specifically talking about an API, Wingman.
I think this is why I like the Varus Ira pick bot lane though, because like I feel like obviously with an early game jungler like Rek'Sai, you're gonna have to choose like points of power to try to like invade and do stuff around. But I think like especially the fact that they have like Lulu and Caitlyn, like sure Caitlyn can be like a good powerhouse early on in the game.
Mhm.
I think that with how Varus and Zyra work, it generally helps like outpush, especially because like Lulu kind of sometimes has difficulties in Zyra. It just really depends on how Lulu plays the matchup. Because if Lulu's kind of like cognizant of like I guess the game state, then if I remember correctly, I think her picks actually can one shot Zyra plants actually. Because
Oh,
like
really?
I was
Is it
talking
because of multi
about it
hit?
being kind of bad in the fire. Yeah, because it's the multi hit. I think the multi hit is
Interesting.
actually good into her plants. I don't know if that's why. I really doubt that's why the pick was used. I think it's just to help facilitate the Caitlyn because Caitlyn needs a lot of help in mid game. But
Right.
um, I still think the thing is though is that Varus and Zyra can easily control the lane state. It just really depends because I haven't seen really Varus played since the nerf. So maybe the nerfs to his E and his Q are just too massive that Caitlyn should still have like the early pressure lead, which will like help facilitate the Rek'Sai. But like depending on how the Lulu is played and the picks works, because I don't know if this is still the case, because I know Zyra has gone through a few like random pet iterations with her
Hmm.
plants and whatnot,
Right.
but I do remember that being like one of the counters as well, because I think at one point, like, what was misfortune also one of the counters for the same reason?
I do not. I could not tell you. I'm not sure, but I will say that I think that whenever I play like when I was like playing a lot of support bot lane, I would used to hate playing against Lulu because I would often play Thresh and Lulu and Thresh into Lulu doesn't feel good. But I will say typically my thought process of how to play counter Lulu would be to pick poke. So I would pick like dog cost support for example, because I feel like if you can poke Lulu from outside of a range, then you can get her low,
Mhm.
then you can engage whenever she's low. And I would say in this case, I feel like Zyra and Varus have so much poke that it certainly has to be a really tough lane to play as if you are Lulu. I think Lulu Caitlyn have a difficult time in this lane because Zyra and Varus together could just put so much pressure and so much poke damage on you in that lane phase. And with no sustain, I feel that's going to be really rough. And like the team as a whole, right? Expo playing on the Xerath with. So if you have Xerath and Zyra and Varus, like the siege potential of that team is absolutely ginormous. I feel like that's just a very clean team comp on the side of Mamba mentality. I'm not saying it's like
Yeah,
game over, but like it's rough, you know?
see, I definitely agree with that, and I think a lot of it too is that I like Lulu more against like I would say engage comps, like you said,
Yes.
Thresh stuff that wants to go in, stuff that's like easily to like helps prevent things. Like sure, it can help like sure up Caitlyn's weaknesses in the late game or in the mid game, I should say. But it's like it makes me really question the Morgana ban. Like I understand if the support doesn't play Morgana, but even then, like if you look at Mamba's mentalities, like team comp, like think about how strong like a Morgana would have been. Like
This
if
is
Volibear
true.
comes to gank your lane, like or Zyra tries to get you with the E strangle, like with her E,
Or
like
Xerath
more
E or like Maokai
or like a
W.
Varus ult, or yeah, like a Maokai
Yes.
W. It's funny to me because it's like I just look at that Morg ban and like the little bottom part of the screen. And I'm just like, uh, uh, you banned your own champion. Like you didn't, but
Yeah,
you kind of
exactly.
did.
Yeah. Like that would have really helped you out. Thank you for the follow, 888 Cam. Appreciate it. So we'll be going into. I don't think either of these teams have bios because the Factory Hive Senior kind of got a little bit of the roster put up together today. Mob Mentality has only existed for a few days, so I can't really say too much about these two teams. What did you think of the drafts? Oh, do you want to go back over the drafts? I think
No,
in
I
general,
think
work
Mamba
our
mentality won the
consensus,
draft pretty
yeah,
hard.
and our consensus seems to be that Mom mentality like really won this draft pretty hard. Like it feels like there just had to be a lot of individual outplays. I think as a team perspective, overall, it's gonna be really hard for the TFHS lineup here to beat Mamba mentality in like team fights or sieges. Maybe they could win the individual lanes, but even like even in the individual lanes, I don't see Syndra necessarily beating Xerath unless Xerath I think has to mess up because Xerath should just be able to poke Syndra outside of Syndra's like threat range, right? And
Yeah,
but given who that is on Xerath, I don't see that man ever messing up and getting solo killed in lane because that man is Expo. If you've been around
yeah.
here for a
Hey,
while, that man is that the Expo is our two-time
you
1v1
did
champion.
you did forget one of the most like important things with that caveat there,
Mm.
and that's called the caster curse.
Oh yeah, of course. I guess there's that. There's that. There's that. But
If I was
yeah.
Expo right now, I'd be flaming you. I'd be so
Yeah.
ready. Like they could even stomp this game, but he'll be like, you know why I was first blood, Etoe? It's because you had to talk.
Go Wayman. There's Wayman in the chat saying the go Wayman. There he is. I like the Mamba team. Impressive bot lane, high poke, and Varus and Xerath. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're saying. Yeah, that bot lane, that Varus and Xerath, like yeah, that siege potential of Varus and Xerath and Zyra, right? And the Varus and
And
Zyra
it's
bot
just
lane.
so hard for for team THFS, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so hard for them to, or TFHS, yeah. So it's so hard for them to actually engage and do what they want to do. I think a
Yeah.
lot of this comes down to like early game lane phase. And like honestly, I again this is like another one of those games where I feel like a lot of the onus is on the jungler to really perform. Because if
Yes.
TFHS wants to do anything, it's all on the back of Rek'Sai. Like
Mm-hmm.
Rek'Sai really needs to take it the early game and then kind of like show the Volibear what's what, especially like when early on like fights, depending on how they go. Like Syndra, Syndra and Rek'Sai should do like a lot better in the early fights compared to a Volibear and Zareth. But then again, like it just really depends on how the fights go. Because if Volibear isn't kited out and he's able to get his full combo, lands a fat E, if Zareth even just lands like a good stun into a W, he can poke fights out. It's just really difficult to say. And I think it just kind of boils down to like, I really don't like THFS's comp that much.
Yeah, the Factory Hive Senior definitely going to be struggling, I think, in this game just based off of that composition. But I will say, there is a good one point to be made here is so both teams actually, ironically enough, both junglers for both teams did not show up in time. That's why both teams lost the ban at the beginning of that ban phase on their first ban. You may have seen that. So Applejacks and Just Caramel are both people that are filling in. They just joined the team seconds ago, and to be for her, we kind of Bum Mentality kind of got a weaker jungler in Applejacks. I don't think Applejacks is the same. He hasn't been playing much League recently. I don't think he's the same rank as the jungler we were using before. And Just Caramel technically is a higher elo jungle than who they did have coming in. I think at Diamond 3. So it's a Diamond 3 jungler versus like a gold jungler. So I mean, we could see Rek'Sai pop off really hard and carry that team. So I
Well, I
mean, we
mean,
could see how
that
good is Just
I do
Caramel.
feel that way too.
Yeah.
Because like one thing that makes me think Just Caramel is really good is the fact that Mamba Mentality felt that it was necessary to ban both Lee Sin and Nidalee, and then
Mm.
he still picks an early game
Yeah, and
champion.
he still
Like
picked an early
in
game
my
champion. That's
opinion,
very
that
true.
that goes to show like the sheer amount of confidence he has in himself, and I
Right.
think he's gonna need that confidence in this game.
I would agree. So we will see how that turns out. Also, if you're watching the stream and you expected fancy overlays and stuff, I didn't have time to set all that up. So we're just gonna have a normal, no overlay, just stream. We'll just be just to be a normal spectate client. I'm sorry, I didn't have. I was dealing with a lot of since I am the team captain technically of Mama Mentality. I was dealing with the player not showing up, and we're also getting the roster and stuff together for Factory Hive Senior. A lot of things happened last minute that was really tragic. So didn't get to set up
I think the
the
most
stream
tragic
is.
part is like you had day one and day two of week one that almost made you think everything was going to go
Yeah.
swimmingly,
Oh
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden day three just had to come and smack people's
Yeah,
mouth. Like, but
yeah. I
that's just
mean,
how it is in
it,
early
it
weeks.
happens. It happens too often. I don't expect things to go perfectly smoothly every like each season. It's like there's no way this doesn't happen. So yeah, it was bound to happen eventually, but it's not too bad. So we will go ahead and dive right into the game here. Does anyone do anything level 1? I mean, they totally could do something level 1. No one has like a ton of heart CC. I guess Zyra E is pretty powerful here, right?
Yeah, I personally would prefer Mamba Mentality's level one. I think they
Mm-hmm.
just got a lot more options.
Yeah, I would agree.
But it's week one. It's the first game for a lot of these teams.
Right,
Like
right.
this is where a lot of cheese comes out, and depending on how it works, they're either cheddar, like sharp cheddar, or provolone. So we'll see
Right.
how it goes.
Oh, we're just doing a standard 5 point start here.
I mean that makes perfect sense to me. I don't think either of these teams really won a level one fight,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think Mamba Mentality would kind of welcome it. I just think that like it's easier for like Volibear because like he can start Q. It's not the best, but if he starts Q, it's fine. There's a little bit of a fight out here in the beginning, but it's just really going to be Zareth being like, "Hey, dude, why you ward my side of the jungle?" The disrespect was real.
Right, right. Ooh, we don't have a contest running. I'm gonna go and set that up on the bot real quick, and we'll have Indefiance talk us through the early game. I'll be right back. I mean, I'll be here, just focus on something else.
All right, so it seems like it's going to be just like a normal start. I do like to see Rek'Sai starting towards the top side. Generally, it's harder to track a jungler when they're not starting with the bot side. So as long as the bot side of TFHS does like either a really good cheat to make them think that there's like the jungler isn't obviously starting bot side, it really does help to leave somebody who's supposed to be like the carry of your team, who's supposed to dictate the early game. Like it's better for him to basically be uninhibited by people being able to guess out his path. So we're gonna see him start over at the Gromp, do a normal 3 point start. He might like look to he might be actually just doing a full clear into looking into like a bot lane gank or something like that. I could see that being possible. Both Varus and Zyra are extremely immobile, so getting their summoners early would really help for this early game, especially considering the poke. Top lane is just probably going to be a wet noodle fight for a while, and then I assume Syndra and Xerath are mostly just going to be a farm it out. So this bot side, it should be the focus for a lot of this game.
going to let you know right now, Mystery Bunny on that Maokai, he does not have wet noodle fights. He somehow finds a way to make Maokai do damage. He's an incredibly aggressive Maokai player. I don't think I've seen anyone play it more aggressively. So I think whenever he gets I think he knows his power spikes really well. Whenever he gets them, we'll see him play pretty aggressively into the Ornn. That's just his playstyle.
I definitely like to see that.
It's honestly a sight to see.
All right, here we go. We're gonna see Rek'Sai pathing towards the bottom side. There are no wards, so he's completely unveiled. He's going in. He's got a really good position.
Ooh,
that
he
Zyra is
does.
really far pushed up. All he's got to do is force the flash with his presence, and he's actually gonna flash in on the first place. And first blood goes to Caitlyn. You would not rather have it on any other champion except maybe Rek'Sai himself. Oh god, this is just really rough for the bot lane of Mamba mentality. This is actually what I love to see.
There we go. The Rek'Sai making plays at the beginning of the game.
See, that's why you path top. Is because people are so used to just the bot lane path, and then you're so safe at minute 3 and stuff like that, that if you just get that early game going for bot lane, all of a sudden you find your team in a 1,000 gold lead. Oh, but we see the Volibear strike back in the mid lane. Rek'Sai's having none of it though, and he's immediately going in on the Volibear. He's got, oof, the red buff ticks right before the E lands, and now we've got a Rek'Sai who has 3 kill participation at 4 minutes in.
No, this Rek'Sai coming through really, really huge. It's exactly what TFHS needed. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need this to happen because like their comp definitely isn't made to just scale and like sit through the game. You do have some kind of late game insurance with how like with Caitlyn, Lulu, and Ornn, but other than that, like, well, actually, I forgot. Of course, it's Varus lethality. So they're, you know, I'm actually kind of liking THFS's late game insurance. It's basically like, hey, Rek'Sai, go ahead and destroy them early game, and then me and Caitlyn and Ornn should hopefully carry us through late. Personally, this is where like. One of the things that I would have probably liked to have done if I was Varus is I would have made some changes. Like again, I know it's a poke comp, but you're behind early. You know, a lot of people are going to be like facilitated throughout the game. If you keep going lethality though, like you guys will fall off pretty hard because like if your main AD source is a tank Volibear jungle and then lethality against like an Ornn. All Ornn has to do is worry about the AP damage coming out from the Maokai, the Xerath, and the Zyra, and it allows Ornn to have a much better build path. So I think just actually because since they tried to kind of lean too far into like a poke comp, the early game actually is extremely disastrous for what they want to do. You can't really have like the Varus getting behind, especially after the nerfs, because I believe those nerfs are live. I think it just really hurts. Ooh, I love seeing this Rek'Sai's pathing. He's gonna get a deep invade off, ward the blue, and he's got a lot of control in this lane. But oh,
Was that just a solo kill for Expo in the mid lane?
that.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Normally you don't see Varus get to do it, but now, hey, check out the bot lane. That Rek'Sai coming in. Zyra stood up a little bit too close, feeling too much for herself.
Just caramel. This pathing, this Rek'Sai early game jungler. Just caramel coming in really huge for the Factory Hive Senior so far.
I'm actually he's going for the repeat gank. Okay, never mind. I was about to say, I generally wanted to see him go for the scuttle to make sure he had 6, but why not just go ahead and get another kill? 5 kill participation at 6 minutes.
He's everywhere around the map right now. Thanks for the knowledge on the different I can't think of what they're called now. Shortcuts to get the different stuff show up on the spectator. I did know about the X one though. But I did not know about the U and the N. I did know about O as well. Also, A. A's a really cool one.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have my camera on Expo on Just Caramel this whole game. It's definitely good to see though that Mamba mentality isn't is definitely being cognizant of their advantages in the resets and then taking the dragon. They're going to need as much late game insurance as they can get. So at the moment, we have almost a 1,000 gold lead in the jungle alone. The top lane is about equal, only about 40 gold separate them. The mid lane, we've got Expo feeling good with the 400 gold advantage after his solo kill. And the bot lane, we see a similar 1K gold advantage as well. This game, I really like the early game plan from THFS, and it really just goes to show like Just Caramel has some fantastic pathing, as he also knows the Volibear would be towards the bot side after taking the dragon, because he's got that nice deep pink ward that shows that Volibear was going to go and take his deep camp. But this is a little bit over aggressive by Rek'Sai. He could definitely get collapsed on, but with his ult, oh, he doesn't even need it.
Oh my god.
Disgusting. He might actually get a
Oh my
gank off as
God.
well in the mid lane. Oh, the jungle dominance. He bobs and weaves more than Etoe does in. I don't even remember the name of it now. Whatever manga Etoe's in from. It's a Dempsey roll, baby. It's been too long since I've read it. Probably shouldn't have pulled out that reference. I was about to say I like the ward for spotting out Rek'Sai, but that was actually just a don't steal my dragon ward. Let's see if Red Side actually respects the return gank, which it seems like they're not. He gets a free flash, gets to go in, damages his
So that's a
reserve,
good
follows-
ulti. Is he still dead? He's still dead.
Ugh.
Oh wait, it's blocked. Okay.
Body block
That
on
was a
Zyra
good
really
flash and ulti by Wayman there. I definitely thought he was dead.
I honestly thought just Caramel was going to follow it up with the ult, but it's probably better that he didn't. He needs to definitely be cognizant
True.
of his shutdown bonus, because that's the only thing that'll get that spot lead back in the game.
Volibear doing Volibear things. That's so silly. He just turned off the tower and just dived him.
It's another reason why Volibear is such a fantastic pick. It's because it just takes away the risk from diving, and it allows just for like more options. See, this Rek'Sai's pathing is on point. He knows they have no summoners. He knows they're going down. He's going to sit there, submerge under
Oh
the ground,
my
watching for the tremor
God.
sense. He's going to let them get, and he goes, finds the Seraph, goes, bursts him
Oh,
out,
wait a
doesn't even
minute.
need
Don't
to
tilt.
ult.
Wait a minute. It's okay. Oh,
Oh, this Rek'Sai is
Jesus.
just so nasty right
no. Jesus.
now. Oh, but the shutdown
Oh.
goes to Expo. That is
Expo
almost
things?
1,000
Expo
gold.
things? Expo things? Can he bring it back? I think he's dead here. Oh, he's
Nope.
not.
That's the power of Nimbus Cloak, baby.
And that's the power of Nimbus Cloak. Expo things? Oh my god.
Kai sapling things. Let's go. And just like that, all the hard work Rek'Sai has done to make this game pop off was all thrown away in one single moment.
This
really
game is
sad
suddenly
to
very
see.
interesting. Okay then. It's the battle of carries, huh?
Yep, it's Jung diff versus mid diff.
This jungler is
But-
absolutely insane though right now. Like this, he has a
I'm-
100% KP. Like, come on.
Dude, at 7-1-1, 11 minutes in, the only thing he could do wrong was the fact that, there was a Xerath as well. Like, because if there was any other champion in the game, maybe a Karthus, he would have been able to just walk away. But nope, you got Xerath shooting from downtown and just ends up being able to kill him after taking the turret damage. It's very unfortunate, because most people aren't used to playing against champions like that. This Rek'Sai is just not having it. You're not going to take my blue ward. You're going to get out of my side of the jungle. And uses the ult to dodge the stun. And then
Just
it's so
caramel.
easy. It's just so easy.
Yeah,
See, this
that
is
was
actually
really
very
clean
good by
dodge.
Bunny paying attention that the Rift Herald could be started. I would like to see Syndra hurry up and either forsake the wave, but she definitely needs to show up for this fight. Expo
Lot
coming
of
in too.
damage coming out from
Woo.
Expo with the ultimate.
And the
And
Herald
here
to
he
finish it off.
goes.
This just comes down to Limelight, really just not rotating in time. Sometimes you just gotta sacrifice the minions for the good of the team.
Clap them cheeks, Max. Yeah, Maximus is someone that was on the free agent. Is that someone that you know, JC? Is that one of your friends? I did see that Maximus was picked up on TFHS as a free agent. Okay, cool. Someone from the League of Losers Discord.
As now the gold lead is as even as the kills. It's just really rough to see. Just Caramel had such a good early pathing, really good things, but there's obviously a disconnect between the solo queue jungler and his teammates, and it hurts. You hate to see it.
Yeah, yeah. Who's the captain of Red Side team? I don't even know what to say. Circa, technically, the Power of Honor and the Factory Half Senior are both signed up by the same person, so they're like kind of like sister teams. I don't know who to consider the team of it. Yeah. But Circa is who I've been communicating with through all this. Maokai thinks just beating up on the horn. Okay.
I really like this. This jungle pathing by the Rek'Sai is completely immaculate. Make sure to get the dragon, but it might be too little too late. The Volibear goes in, and Expo just pressing all of his buttons and having his way. You're seeing the comp really come into shine here with just how they're able to poke out the team.
Woo.
And man, this Ornn teleport was too little too late. He needs to back with half HP. Meanwhile, you already know that Maokai's just going to be like, what, are you giving me free plates with this Demolish proc? Thank you. First break also going down to red side.
Man, this feels kind of bad if this is sliding so much in Mamba Mentality's favor now. I feel like it's almost like becoming like kind of just team comp diff as well. Because geez, did the Rek'Sai do exactly what we said Rek'Sai had to do?
And see, that's the one thing that's just kind of like sad about it. Like, again, they can get back into this game the later it goes, but it's going to be really hard to stop a Xerath that's 406 with 10 sacks of the BM item.
Oh, does he have the BM item?
No, he has the BM.
Of course, like, of course he does. Of course he does. I forgot who we were talking about here. Oh, Rek'Sai coming through with a lot of damage. They're going to be healed. Raymond's going to flash away. I think Hold My Weave may be going down as Maximus going to chase her down. She's going to go down to Hold My Weave, and that's going to be just Caramel going to finish Wayman out in the back. A little unfortunate, but that's just so much damage coming out of the Rek'Sai. Like, even using all the summoners and the ultimate and flashing away, Rek'Sai is still going to run him down and kill them. But here comes Expo with the ultimate. Maximus going to get the shield and try to put on some fancy feet. And, okay, no one will die, but still, there's so much damage coming out of just Caramel. That's insane.
See, that's the good part about Lulu. But see, this is where, like, you know, as much as I think Lulu can help, like, emphasize a lot of Caitlyn's strengths, I think there's a similar champion that would have been just as good. And, this is where I would have said, I would have liked to see Nami. I think Nami would have been really good in trying to keep the sustain up, especially preventing a lot of that Xerath damage from coming in, and at least keeping them topped off enough that they would have been able to escape some of these tower dives a bit more.
1000% agree, yeah. Hey, the boss 800, thank you for the follow.
Hey, yo, that's my top laner.
Ooh, cool. Okay. Comfy Gaming?
I can see it.
Oh, yeah, the boss? Yeah.
Oh,
Comfy Gaming coming up next, I
day.
believe.
Everyone coming in to just make sure she's just having a bad
Taking
time.
a lot of damage
the Rek'Sai
there.
actually
Here comes
prevents
the
death
Rek'Sai.
from coming in, and does he lose his life over it? No, he does not. This might have been an over aggression.
Oh God, something's
Mamba
happening.
mentality.
Something's happening, but here it comes on the backside. But Expo is still full health and still has mana, gonna be throwing out some more Qs, and here comes an ultimate.
The fancy feet on Lulu. Dodging every single one.
I don't know what Director Cameron was like. We're just gonna watch we're gonna just watch this from Xerath's perspective instead of who he's aiming at. Oh, Maximus with the fancy feet, and he's dodging it all. And oh my God, but the poke damage is insane. However, Zyra probably walked up a little bit too much. Gonna go down to Limelight there, go down to the QE, and here comes the respawn. Rek'Sai chasing them down, and does also have the item so that he can't get poked out. And that's gonna be just enough for the Rek'Sai ultimate. Oh my
The
god, so
BM
much. Here
book
comes
shows it.
Mystery Bunny.
Oof.
Be taking a lot of damage. Maokai gonna try and chase him down here, but will be getting out through the tunnel.
I'm not gonna lie, with the way Mystery Bunny was moving for a second, I thought he had flash, and he was
Uh-huh.
just gonna
Yeah,
go
he was like, I'm
super
going.
I was just waiting for it. I'm going. Oh wait, I don't have it. Okay,
Zara got
that was
bolted up.
W for me.
Yeah.
But the 11-3 Rek'Sai, like at this point, you almost have to assume that they did have to ban Lee Sin and Nidalee, right? But would you almost want to ban Rek'Sai again for Game 3?
Yeah, probably.
But then
Probably.
again, if he's this good on Rek'Sai, how
What
good is
does
he
his
on
Lee
Nidalee
Sin
and
and
Lee Sin?
yeah, what does his Lee Sin and Nidalee look like? This is very true.
I love seeing this. This is a really close, bloody game. Who needs macros when you've got 11 kills like those, right?
Maximus? Oh, trying to get away from the monster. That I think he's dead though. I think he's dead though.
You
Can
do
he
not
be
want to
set?
give this
The
shutdown to
Maokai?
Rek'Sai, though.
Oh, the Rek'Sai gonna get a massive shutdown
Oh,
with
but
the
he's
Lulu
not gonna be able to
ultimate.
dodge all
Gonna
these
try
expo.
and dodging,
He is
dipping,
able to
ducking,
dodge
and
all of them.
diving with the exhaust, going onto Volibear, and there we go. Jess Camera will be making it out of there.
See, this Lulu sitting there making me eat my words with how she's starting to play the comp, able to prevent a lot of damage and actually help people escape with the whimsy. One thing that I'm very impressed so far is that Maximus and Cryptima have apparently been watching a lot of 80s movies, because when I saw them in the mid lane dodging Expo, it was like I was seeing Dirty Dancing all over again.
Okay. I'll accept that. Nice.
Come on, you got to throw in some references, right? That's how it works. We had Star Wars references the other day. I thought, I thought we're going with old school movies, right?
Yeah, at least they were, to be fair.
Oh wow. Syndra with a very questionable dragon steal attempt. The thing is there's not people you're not gonna outrange a Xerath. I think if there's a Maokai and a Xerath, I think you just really need to stay farther away than you think you should. Oh, Dirty Dancing again in the mid lane. And it's just a really good rotation by Mamba Mentality right here. They could see that obviously THFS, since they were getting the Herald, wasn't able to really rotate fast enough, but they didn't get enough tower damage that I think that they was unable to it's able to regen back, because if I remember correctly, you need at least 33% damage for it to go down. I'm surprised by the early Herald use though.
So am I.
Personally, I would have liked to see him hold on to the Herald for like another objective play, maybe even just like a better distraction. I think even just releasing them in the top lane and then going for a team fight here, as he decides that he is not done, that Xerath is his prey, that Zyra is his prey. He is not letting this bot lane have a good game.
Just Caramel going in there, yeah. A lot of damage. Yes, the defensive Herald. It worked!
See, nobody expects you to go in after you randomly drop a Herald. They're like, okay, he just dropped the Herald, now he's going to go farm his jungle. And it turns out he went to go farm mid lane of some champions that were peskily trying to pepper his team.
And that's what they have to do, right? They can't just sit there and get poked. They have to go in on them.
Oh, I definitely agree with that, but man, I just love this Rek'Sai's pathing.
Yeah, the Rek'Sai is definitely a very good player.
It's crazy to me. It's 18-15, 21 minutes in, 2 dragons to 1, but the gold is still within 100 from one another. In fact, actually, right now it is dead even though Mamba Mentality has 4 turrets.
Yeah,
so there's actually more standing
crazy.
gold on the map for THFS than there is for Mamba Mentality.
Oh, that's very true.
That's just why Mamba Mentality has to be really careful to not lose a team fight, especially around Baron, and also pick the right targets. Because if THFS get a Baron, then they're going to get like really far ahead of the game just from the gold lead alone. Sorry about that. I had a minor interruption. So this is also what Mamba Mentality has to do is they have to group up. They just have to keep poking, making sure the Lulu and the Syndra aren't able to get like involved in the fight at all. But they have to make sure to keep warding their flanks because otherwise the Rek'Sai is going to make sure they have an absolute terrible time. THFS is actually doing really well so far, trying to hold off like the camps. My god, the dodging that I'm seeing from Lulu and the spot lane in general is so good. And look, a 5th turret goes to Mamba Mentality, yet the gold is still even.
It's crazy.
It's so surprising to me. The sheer stability that THFS was able to put into this game, regardless of what was happening all throughout the map, is just absolutely insane. I think a lot of it speaks to how stable the bot lane was able to be with all the repeated ganks that Rek'Sai was able to like just give to Mamba Mentality, and yet all the like dodging the super fed Expo was so important and so instrumental on them being able to come back and stay equal in this game. Caitlyn's items are starting to go online. Her mid-game trough is starting to end. With a Lulu on her side and a 13-3 Rek'Sai with the Edge of Night and Death's Dance is just something you have to be afraid of.
Yes, and the scaling is definitely in favor of Caitlyn in this matchup. Varus going lethality, but it's not going to be nearly as useful in the late game as the Caitlyn would.
And also, you see Ornn completely itemizing for magic resist. It's at this point the Varus is going to be able to do nothing to him. The Dragon's now being evened up by Team THFS. I don't know how I feel about Mamba Mentality doing this. Actually, it's really good with the choke points. All that damage just coming out.
Yeah, it turns out not bad.
The thing is that they really need to be careful about forcing engages, though. Because
Right.
the more they force engages, the more it's going to be difficult when there's like a really good team fighting team, such as THFS. But they were managed to get a really good split fight on to the Ornn. And then the choke point just showed how powerful Expo is on this champion. He was able to push out both, I believe it was both Syndra and Caitlyn, burning the summoners from them and completely alienating them from the fight.
So Orange Teleport is up as we see TFHS is pinging. So they're looking for the teleport. There is going to be the teleport coming out of Ornn. Will Mamba Mentality continue
have
to
be
do?
really careful
They
about
are
this.
seem to be continuing to do the Baron, but that's going to be Zyra going down to the Caitlyn Maximus, and here comes the engage. They're trying to go onto the backline. We're going to try to see the counter engage from the Volley Bear, but there's just Caramel's going to take down the Volley Bear. Now Caitlyn is unstoppable. Actually, Rek'Sai is unstoppable. But they're still
And
really
this
low,
is
and Expo's still full health, I believe, but with half mana, I don't think either team will be able to continue the Baron, but that will be two people on the side of Mamba going down and having to pull off of the Baron. That
and this
teleport.
is why you just have to be really careful about like just straight up fighting the team comp of THFS. Because at this point, like, sure, Rek'Sai is an early game champion, and sure, like, Syndra can be pushed out, but when Rek'Sai's got 14, kills, like, early game be damned, he's relevant all game.
Right. Thank you for the follow clone makers, by the way.
I think at this point, though, it's kind of disappointing to see Syndra go for what I assume is either a future Spellbinder's Orb, but probably going to be a Rabadon's. I think just at this point in time, her team has been fighting just fine, frankly, kind of without her. And I really would have liked to see a Banshee's Veil to try to deal with Expo's damage, because at some point, the more magic resist you build, the more you're able to actually fight. And getting through a Maokai, Volibear, a Xerath, Varus poking you out, and a Zyra just trying to disengage, it's going to be really hard for Syndra to do anything without magic resist.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be really hard to get to Expo, so they're just gonna have to be able to try to survive Expo, right?
Yeah, because at this point, like, she's going to need almost like 2,000 gold more to even finish out her item. When even just, oof, Caitlyn caught out in the mid lane. This is actually super huge for Mamba mentality. They need to force this as much as possible. A lot of their wave clears taken down. So, oof, the engage goes in. Syndra goes down.
Oh,
This
there
is their
goes the
chance to
engage
actually take over
from the
game.
front line.
Oof,
Maokai's
the
in
roots.
there. Maokai's in there. Maokai is just in the middle. That's this mystery bunny.
At
It's
this
just-
point, they just really need to get out because this could end up being the end of the game if they ended up dying. Okay, Mamba mentality should definitely take the reset and go for the Baron. They've got to be really careful because this Caitlyn can actually do more, but except
Oh,
you've got the
what
complete
Caitlyn?
dive on them.
What, Caitlyn? It's gone. However, oh, we do have big things coming. Oh, and Rek'Sai able to kill Expo in the back, but there are still three members, Mamatati, that are up. Going to try and deal some damage to the
Ooh.
Ornn, but the Ornn is going to deal a lot of damage back to them. And here comes the Scissors. The Scissors is actually going to shut down Varus, and Mystery Bunny's going to try to run away, but it's going to try to go back in, try to get a little bit of healing off of the passive, but does not have any mana left. And I think that's going to be all of Mamatati going down. It's going to be the ace for TFHS, and they do stay alive, but their base has definitely been broken.
This is why they should went for the reset. Sure, it was good they were able to get the Caitlyn, but like imagine if their dive on Caitlyn failed. Imagine if like her heal had came up like even a second sooner. Like if
Yeah,
they
true.
weren't timing basically the summoners right there, like it would have been completely disastrous if Caitlyn was still alive. This could end up easily becoming either a Baron or like the third dragon to put them on a soul point. Also, Caitlyn just finally got the Ornn upgrade of the Molten Edge. She is definitely feeling really good about this matchup. Her flash coming up soon. Meanwhile, a lot of summoners were burnt on the side of Mamba mentality. This TP coming in the middle of them should have definitely been abused. Rek'Sai feeling himself, but I don't think he should go for the steal. I think just letting this one go and looking for a fight would have been better. But yeah, he's still feeling himself. He's going in and he smite steals it. But the problem with this is this leaves an easy Baron for Mamba mentality to completely take over the game. And it doesn't help that Lulu's also getting caught out. I really doubt Expo's going to miss these ones. Mamba mentality still being a little bit aggressive with their positioning. They still fancy themselves a fight, but I think Baron would have been the safer and smarter call to push in here. We'll see how it goes. It all depends on Caitlyn's play to stay alive. Now you've got Rek'Sai coming in with 1 second left. He's got
Oh, and
flash
they're
up and
so
everything.
low.
He's
Oh, no,
just
here
sitting
he
there
comes.
Looking at all the targets. He's making his choices. Expo's basically the only thing preventing him from wanting to go in besides the Maokai. But see, this is why you just need to take the free Baron. People say no free, like no need to Baron. They can just push to end. The problem is it's still 30 minutes in. It's not 45 minutes where the death timers are too long. It's just so easy for THFS
Did this
to
turn
come
into a
in for the
Baron for
reset.
them? Ooh, this could turn into a Baron for TFHS. Is Mamba mentality aware? A very nice and
It definitely
that was
seems
a
like
very
Expo is
quick
starting to look, check it out. He's gonna attack
recall
the plant
there.
soon, and they're going to be spotted.
They're exposed.
Remember, Baron gives a stacking magic resist debuff, so this could make Expo really huge. But see,
They're destroying it.
Mamba mentality is just too late on the call.
Oh, there it is. This is going to be the Baron. Are they going to go in?
And
We
they're
do
trying to
see
force a
the
team fight
Maokai
here.
going in. That will be goodbye to Syndra. And there comes the rest of Mamba mentality. Volibear's going to come running in. Here comes Zyra. Varus is super low. Has not had it. Wait, what happened to Varus?
Varus has to be careful.
Yeah, Varus definitely does have to be careful. Very low here, but they're going to try and kill a few people, try to get that Baron buff off of a few of them. The Ornn is super, super tanky, still running away. Will be going down too. The Varus is shut down, going over to Wayman on that. Varus now is going to have to recall. And there are super minions pushing up in the mid lane, but they do have the Baron minions to kind of help thwart that.
as
So
well as Caitlyn.
yes, as well as Caitlyn. Yes, Caitlyn does have the odds. Caitlyn is pretty strong now.
Caitlyn shreds those. And see, this is exactly why I would have liked to see a Banshee's Veil over the Rabadons over Syndra. She had Flash Up. She has Phase Rush. She should have been able to get out of that. She shouldn't have even been positioned that aggressively. And this looks actually like a free inhibitor turret for Mamba
Here comes the
mentality.
engage on the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is going to go ahead and be able to kite back with the Lulu ultimate. Will this turn around in the favor of TFHS? And here comes Rek'Sai going for the backline. Is going to be onto Expo now. Expo's going to be taking a lot of damage. Expo will be going down to the Syndra. And that looks like that could be Mystery Bunny going down as well. And is that all the members except for Varus, who is all the way back there being killed on the side of Mamba mentality? But they did not, and they did not get the inhibitor. Yeah, they didn't have to go for that dive. I think they could have got the inhibitor. They did get the tower, and now both those inhibitors have respawned. Now we don't have super minions coming down anymore from our mentality.
And they're just not playing for their comp.
Uh-oh.
They've got a poke comp. They need to poke and engage when it's
reasonable
for them to do
so.
No. And now Varus is getting really far caught out. There's no way he's getting away from this side.
Wayman. Oh, he's gonna try to kill someone. He's gonna try. He's dead though. Oh
and now
no!
The fact that they don't have a Varus ult to prevent them from
getting engaged on
THFS from like constantly pushing, and then not only that, but their inhibitor respawned. This was easy, and this just goes to show you how bad that Nun Baron call was. There was no reason to push mid twice in a row and have the same thing happen to you twice, then go top lane and make the same call to only get a single turret, and then now all of a sudden THFS has control of the game again. Another thing that makes this so dangerous is that you've got the Ocean Drake coming up, and there is no better Drake against the comp Mamba mentality. And not only that, but all of a sudden, you know, THFS gets a 4 quick turrets, and all of a sudden they have the gold lead because they were even throughout the whole game with 0 turrets. Teamfight coming in hard. All of a sudden, Expo's down again because this Rek'Sai's popping off, gets the quick stopwatch, is just sitting there, not even caring about the enemy team, just going ham, zoning everyone out. There's nothing that Mamba mentality can do to this Rek'Sai. He is just showing why he is the by far MVP of this game. MVP Uzi, which is he had such a dominant performance.
It's going to be Mamba mentality getting ace, and that could be, and that will definitely be the soul going over to TFHS. On the back of Just Caramel. Now has 23 kills on this Rek'Sai. Absolute monster performance coming out here from that emergency sub jungler.
It wasn't a bad draft. They just didn't play around their comp. I think the problem.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think it's a good draft.
I think Mamba actually had a great comp, had a completely great draft, but they just kept making like really aggressive calls, and they allowed THFS to scale too much.
It's very true. On the side of scaling, especially with the way that with what their ADC was building, they did not scale into this game. Caitlyn is just being a lot more significant in these fights, and I mean, Rek'Sai is just really big. I don't think Rek'Sai necessarily scales. I think Rek'Sai is just so big that he could just delete, and he can, and yeah, well, I guess Rek'Sai is a she. She's a queen, all right, Rek'Sai. She could just really get to that backline and just delete those backline carries. So gets onto Expo, gets onto Wayman, and they absolutely get demolished.
And this just goes to show you like the pain of like Majai's being like such a BM item. He would have either been able to finish like an early Morellos or even like rush a Rabadons, but now he feels almost like he needs to complete the Morellos and keep the Majai's while it just doesn't have the sheer amount of value that it needs. I have a feeling that Just Caramel might have won the jungle job on THFS though.
Right. I wonder if our jungler is still asleep, actually. Applejacks came in for us last second, and I have not heard back from our main jungler yet. That's crazy. I think he may be losing his jungle job.
And I don't think Applejack's even necessarily played badly. I just think
I would
because like
agree.
even if it was his call to go in, Mamba mentality, being like more of the veterans on the team, should have been saying like, no, we need to back off. Hey, we need to go for Baron. They should have played a more macro oriented game. They need to poke on the turrets and then engage on the good poke, and not just like land maybe a single good skill shot and then decide it's go time. Like just a little bit of patience and a little bit more macro oriented play could have seen Mamba mentality close this game out. But man, Rek'Sai just really didn't want them to be able to decide what to do. The Maokai had a good like disengage, but I just it's hard to see them get on the Caitlyn with a Lulu right behind her.
We're going to see another engage attempt by Mamba Mentality, but those frontliners are getting absolutely destroyed, and down goes Varus, down goes Volibear, down goes the Maokai. That's going to be a double kill for the Rek'Sai as the support also goes down. Now it is only Expo with a half mana pull against the entirety of TFHS, and he has the Rek'Sai on him. That's going to be the flash. That's going to be the heal. That's going to be the engage. That's going to be the very dead Expo, and that's going to be the full 5-0 ace for TFHS. Now 41-27, and now they are in the base, and that should be the Nexus Towers going down for Team Factory Hive Senior against Mamba Mentality. Kind of a
That was just such.
surprising performance, just off of the back of such an incredible performance from the Rek'Sai. And then like
So
look, if
we're
you look
gonna
at,
see three. We're gonna see three jungle bans next game,
I
right?
think I
You
think
have to
so.
see it
I think you do. This is just, oh, this is incredible though.
because if
Although,
he goes 26-5 on Rek'Sai,
whew,
plays Rek'Sai almost as if he's like a late game Vayne in terms of just carry potential, then like at that point you kind of almost have to risk him being able to play Lee Sin and Nidalee. But what makes that even more terrifying is if his early game was this good into a transition to late game on this champion, like what is his Lee like? What is his Nidalee like? Will Applejacks even be able to breathe?
very, very true. The most damage of the game done there still done by the Xerath. Yeah, you really thought, really thought Mamba had that from the draft, but I think just the performance of the Rek'Sai in that early game just kind of really threw a wrench in that, because bot lane got so behind, and I think like you can see Varus did the fourth most damage on Mamba Mentality. That Varus is Wayman. Wayman's a very good diamond tier ADC, but with the comp that they drafted, with the Varus getting behind and being kept behind by the Rek'Sai there, didn't really have a lot of how many jungle bans are they willing to put on that jungle? Well, they put two. Their problem as well is both teams did lose a ban in that first rotation, so they actually only have two bans in the first rotation. So
I'll
shout out
tell
to
you
Dan.
after that game, Mamba Mentality found their third ban though.
Yeah. But they actually still we still have a sub that's still an emergency sub jungler. So unless we get our main jungler back, we are still using an emergency sub technically. So we still lose one ban.
Someone wants to
So
see the mitigated damage, I guess.
self mitigated damage. Okay. Let's see, where
Dude,
is
look at that
that?
self-mitigated damage on Rek'Sai. My
Where do
lord.
you even find? Oh, there it is. Self-medicated damage. Yeah, Rek'Sai. You see the Maokai, the Volibear, the Rek'Sai, and the Ornn, of course.
I do want to point out that's with a lethality death dance like Rek'Sai. Like that Rek'Sai was not building. Like technically there was some resistances in there, but that was a full damage Rek'Sai.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very true. Crazy gig. So it's
Man,
going to be
what a
game one.
performance.
Yep. Go for T Factory Hive Senior. We'll have to see how Mamba mentality changes. I imagine that they choose a different bot lane. I imagine now that they'll be on the blue side. I don't know what they prioritize, but they'll probably prioritize maybe an ADC pick or a jungler pick. I'm
So
not exactly sure what they'll prioritize there.
hypothetically,
Oh,
right?
actually, maybe
How
Syndra.
how much better do you think that Mamba Mentality would have performed if, for example, their bot lane was Ezreal Bard?
I think a lot better. I think a lot better. They would have had a much better time. What rank was the Rek'Sai? The Rek'Sai I think is D3, D2, D3, something like that. What the Rek'Sai was definitely the highest ranked player on that team.
And he showed it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the highest ranked player,
213 CS.
you may guess that the higher ranked player on the Mama Matadi was Expo versus mid gold jungle. Yes. Applejack's is like mid gold. Applejack's also filled in last second for us. I think we moment have like a gold one jungler, but that man's asleep or something. I don't know.
The thing is though is that even though Just Caramel showed a dominating performance, Mamba Mentality had multiple times during that game where they easily could have
Mm-hmm.
won or taken the advantage and played towards their comp. Like the fact that it got so late with what it was six dragons, right? Like about six dragons
Mm-hmm.
with THFS coming from behind and getting an ocean. against the poke comp. It was unlucky. It just goes to show that like if they prioritized the objectives more than the diving, because they felt good about the diving, they knew they were able to sometimes get kills. But the problem is that the game was not late enough with the respawns. They just needed to take the easy Baron. They needed to sit there and then poke around like objectives. Like when they were fighting basically THFS in each point that they wanted to, with like super hard engages, pretending that they were the all-in comp. I think it just played counter to what their game plan should have been.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. We'll see how the teams change it up here in this next game. I'm going to be creating the lobby for that and setting out the pro drafts and setting up for the next game. So in the meantime, we'll just put this scene up, play some music, and we'll get ready for the next game.
on roses and whiskers and kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of mine, and then I don't feel those girls in white dresses with white dress. Girls in white dresses with roses. Girls in white dresses with white dress. Girls in white dresses with roses. Girls in white dresses with girls in white dresses, yeah, roses. Girls in white dresses with white dresses, in white dresses, yeah, with girls in white dresses, with white dresses, with girls in white dresses, with white dresses, white dresses, with roses. Doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Those are so bad. So bad. So bad. Roses. Girls in white dresses with girls in white dresses, yeah, roses. Girls in white dresses with white dress. Girls in white dresses with girls in white dresses with white dresses with girls in white dresses with white dresses with roses. Raindrops on roses and whiskers and kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of mine, and then I don't feel those. from the still before the storm. Is dark, tempting spaces to be explored. On the edge now, the night forgets to rule. Seal me closed. Time is slow, and it won't stay long. But we've got till dawn to take us there. Take it somewhere new, and it won't stay long. But we've got till dawn to take us there. Take it somewhere new, and it won't stay long. But we've got till dawn to take us there. Hold me down, hold me.
My bad. I see. I just been jamming here. Meanwhile, we've actually had stuff going on. My bad on that. Let's go ahead and transition and see what the draft looks like. I got a little bit too into the music there. But there we go. We do have the drafts that has been completed. We'll be going into the draft on the client here soon. We see that Mamba Mentality has chosen the top laner. First of all, we should look at the bans. Mamba Mentality did decide to keep with the Lee Sin and the Nidalee ban. And TFHS decided to ban the solo laners of Mamba Mentality from last game. So they go ahead and took away the Maokai and the Xerath. And we see the Mamba Mentality go ahead and picked up the Vladimir in the top lane for Bullet Ride. In the jungle, it looks like they have the Volibear once again. In the mid lane, it looks like Expo's on Renekton. And then in the bottom, we have Varus and Nami. For TFHS, we see that in the top, it looks like they're going to go back to the Ornn. In the jungle, that's going to be Olaf for the jungle for Just Caramel. In the middle, looks like Orianna. In the bottom, looks like Nautilus and Caitlyn. And we should be back on the client now, I believe. We start the client draft. At least I thought I heard the client draft going. There it is. And we'll see the no bans for both teams are still using sub junglers. Well, emergency sub junglers won't have bans there. And I have been deafened this entire time. My bad. Hi, in Defiance.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm here, man.
Yeah,
I'm waiting, chilling, hanging out.
My bad. Okay, what did you see the did you see the draft? Did you see the pro draft? Did you see what do you think here?
I'm about to see the draft.
I mean, I guess
gonna
that's
draft
true.
for
We
me,
are
so.
about to see the draft live on the client. That does work.
It definitely does work. I'm happy to see the Maokai ban. I
Yep.
don't really know how much it did that previous game, but obviously you just want people off their comfort.
Yeah.
Maybe the Ornn was asking for it after having to lane against it.
Yeah, probably. And then again, yeah, it's just the comfort. I mean, they took away both solo laners of Mamba Mentality to force him to play something different. That could also be the idea.
I do like to see THFS actually like adapting like that because like obviously the two problems that they were having to deal with was like the Maokai was super good with his flanks. His ults were actually crazy. I watched him actually kill out a Lulu that was poked with his ult.
Yeah.
Like again, that probably wasn't planned, but with how aggressive you say that top laner is, I'm just gonna pretend it is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And I do know that Vladimir is his next go-to. So we do see him picking up the Vladimir into the Ornn. They did go back to the Ornn for Eli. So we'll see if Mr. Bunny could try and force more of put him more like on a carry champion. He does like to try and carry as well. He plays most tanks, but he is capable of playing the carry role with the Vladimir.
Olaf.
And yeah, we're going to see Just Caramel, yes, on that Olaf now. They banned away the same two early game junglers, but he did not go back to Rek'Sai. They went over to Olaf. More of a jungler that can also carry in the late game. We see that Expo has a very interesting pick for us in the mid lane.
Who is he laning against? I guess that's my question.
Oh, well, I mean, I know, but I guess we'll see here soon. And instead of, I don't have to spoil the surprise. We'll see Limelight lock in that champion here soon enough. That is going to be, there we go, the Orianna in the mid lane going up against Expo's Renekton. Very interesting to see how that one turns out.
I would almost like to see a lane swap, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
Because like you can get such a free lane on Renekton against Ornn by just getting your items, doing a Blade of the Rune King. In fact, even like just kind of being awkward with it, and maybe even like forcing Ornn into magic resist, and then doing a lane swap, so then Renekton's just there, and then Ornn's like, "Oh, dude, I just built a Negatron. Like, what's going on?"
You know
what I mean?
Wait, they should have banned there. Their ban there was Diana. They banned Diana and Silas. But it's fine.
They banned Diana and Silas this late.
Yeah. They banned Diana
wait,
because
wait, okay.
because I guess you don't know. Yeah, the pick order is different than the draft order. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
not sure
okay,
if you have the draft link still. The draft was redone. Did I put the new draft link in the caster chat? Maybe I
just see
didn't.
the old one from the caster chat. I know because I went to go check and I was like, okay.
Yeah, there it is. There.
The draft to be Zoe, Shaco, Rakan versus and Camille.
Yeah.
That was
there
an
it is.
interesting draft. That's okay.
Thank you for the follow, Access Lol. And we do see Wayman going back to his signature pick of the Varus, but this time with the Nami support. And in the enemy lane, we do see Maximus going back to the Caitlyn, this time with a Nautilus support. And that support player, Gisult, is also not the support player we saw last game. I believe this is their starting support.
Is he still going?
I highly doubt it. I know that Varus. I know that Wayman knows how to play both of them, so I'd imagine he's not going lethality in this lineup. I imagine he's going for on hit.
I was about to say because on hit and even AP sounds better than lethality this game.
yeah. I think you look at the enemy team.
People sleep on AP. I don't think AP was nerfed as hard as it could have been. But like AP is a lot of burst.
Okay.
And it'd be really good into the Olaf, Ornn, and Nautilus, but I really doubt we'll see that. But
Yeah.
as long as Varus is not going lethality, I do like the comp a lot more. I think their comp has a lot more um basically like levers it can pull, levers it can pull. I don't think that they have to worry so much about the early game. The only early game they really have to worry about is this is just caramel popping off.
I would agree with that. Yes, for sure. I'm actually gonna
And
go and grab
Nami
some
is a
water during this.
okay. You can go ahead and play that
Yeah,
music then.
yeah. During this break, so I was gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah.
I crave a right conscience of cold. Your love is my command each time you drive me off the road. I crave a right conscience of cold. Above the sand, shipwreck I stand, no bearing which I know. Ooh, ooh. Thought I never let my guard down, 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 down. Ooh. Thought I never, never, never. Ooh. Thought I never let my guard down, 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 down. Thought I never. I crave a right conscience of cold. Your love is my command each time you drop me off the road. My grace has stripped me to the bone. Saw the tidal wave crashing. I stayed for one last street of hope.
Okay, we're back, and we are in the loading screen.
Like to see that loading screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just disappointed. You feel comfortable enough to pick Renekton, and you have none of his 5 billion skins. And
Yeah,
Renekton has almost nothing but good skins.
that is also true.
Sometimes just to win a game, you need more skinergy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Whoa! Hold my weave has some points on Nami. Why did we not see Nami first game? Over 1 million mastery points on Nami.
Well, I actually did like Zyra into that team comp. I
Yeah.
think that Rek'Sai just obviously scared her from choosing that again, or scared that person from choosing it again.
Yeah.
It's hard playing such an immobile person that has a hard time dealing with like the abnormal ganks
Mhm.
that Rek'Sai can come with. But I think that's one thing that's really going to help Mamba mentality out in this game is the fact that they're like Rek'Sai has very interesting like jungle paths, is very good at abusing like flash timers. You know, Olaf is very binary. Olaf is going to run at you. He's easier to ward out.
It's very true. Some on the way pings. Looks like it may be a 5-point start from the red team. We'll see what the blue team does the same. It is looking like it is. Expo Wasp confirmed. Hey, Expo still had a good game last game, all right? He still had a good game. Just it did not end up going in their favor in the end. We'll see what Expo does with the Renekton mid this game versus Limelight with the Orianna. Orianna is bringing Exhaust here, which I think is a brilliant idea. That's probably definitely what you should be bringing if you're going into a Renekton mid.
After that like last lane phase, I am sure he is exhausted. So he's just trying to like even it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because man, that game one was rough. You generally don't see a Xerath solo killing a Syndra in lane.
Yeah, usually the Syndra is just like down a lot of CS, right? Usually Syndra is just like
that,
low health
like,
and down
Up,
CS.
you know,
low
health, maybe missing a few or there. Just
exactly.
Dodge the poke, but just that game definitely went Expo's way in the beginning until Just Caramel said, "No, this is actually my game of League of Legends."
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry, your comp was nice and all, but you got to play around it, or else I'm gonna win the game.
Right.
And so we're gonna see a similar start from Just Caramel, and I think he's probably planning on trying to either just do a nice full clear, or just to abuse the spot lane further. And see, this is where Eli goes to show like a bit of like inexperience. And this might actually cue off Mamba for like kind of telling off what's gonna happen, is the fact that since he did like a subtle like move towards the top side, they might assume that he's starting top side when you'd rather it be more ambiguous.
Mm-hmm. I will say that it does look like Varus is going on hit, given his rune choices here. Going with the what's that one? The one that makes you shoot fast whenever you hit people.
Lethal tempo.
There it is.
So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on Just Caramel this game. He just played such a good game before. I think his jungle path is really what's going to dictate this whole early game. We're seeing him do the full clear, as well as Volibear doing a almost like a similar clear. It's not the best path. He's going to be looking mid though to probably try to help get Expo ahead.
Renekton trades. Renekton things.
I think one of my friends watching the stream said my voice was a little low, so I don't know if that's the case for other people.
I can try and turn it up.
I might need to be turned up. I'm not sure. Oh, the first blood in the mid lane, and see if you got your best player in Expo, you just gotta facilitate him.
Yeah.
But Limelight still has the flash and exhaust up. It's kind of disappointing to see.
This is game 2. Hi, Alexis.
I think one thing I would have liked to see is if Applejacks made sure, especially with how the kill was going, if it was secured by Expo, just because I think it would have been better off for him to secure the lead. And we see a bot lane gank coming. Bot lane is way too pushed up again.
No.
We've got the exhaust on Olaf.
No.
It should be an easy flash kill.
Wait a minute.
It's very unfortunate because I guarantee you, watch Nautilus get the second one as well. Oh, never mind.
No.
You've got the axe throw as well.
Game 1 was won by TFHS. A Team Factory Hive Senior. They're now on the red side. They won game 1.
That was without Caitlyn even being in lane. Caitlyn backs for Cole, and they still got that gank out.
Looking very similar to game 1 there. And also
it's
also looking similar to game 1 again, where Mamba Mentality solo laners again have quite the advantage in their lanes. But the bot lane is just getting wrecked by the jungler.
And this plays out very similar to to my solo queue games. Like I swear it just does. You know, it's the one where you're like the jungler, you're doing a good job, your solo lanes are just losing. You're like, I'm just gonna keep ganking bot, and you just gotta pray
Yeah.
one of these lanes is gonna lose more.
Yeah.
Okay, you see him coming up in the top lane, but it's Vladimir. It's too hard to gank.
But it's Vladimir, so we'll see.
You know, as much as I do like the jungle pathing of Just Caramel, there's something I have to criticize him with. Actually, I have to criticize all of THFS. None of them, they haven't placed a ward yet. Or actually, the award went down to the top lane, but nobody had any vision score until now.
Yeah, I see that.
That's extremely questionable. I would have liked to see.
Interesting by 5 minutes in, yeah.
I would have liked to see.
Wait, is this guy just gonna die?
definitely-
Did he just die? He just die, right?
Oh,
Oh. Yeah.
he would have lived if he just didn't E forward.
Huh.
That's rough. That is really rough. The problem is this
You're
really
right.
limits like Olaf's options.
Yeah, now Vladimir's ahead. And again, that is Bullet Ride / Mystery Bunny in the top lane. Like I said before, he's a very aggressive player. So I definitely expected that dive as soon as I saw him get low like that.
It's crazy too, because he had a Negatron cloak during that.
Oh, I see. Ooh. The bubble just barely missing there on the Caitlyn, but the Caitlyn's still going to get very low. There's going to be the exhaust. Do we have a Q from Varus to try and kill the Caitlyn? Doesn't look like it is going to be able to come through. Here is the Q. The Q is going to be barely missing to the right. That's very unfortunate. This gank is not going to work out, and Olaf is on the way. Here comes the hook from Nautilus. Applejacks is going to go ahead and kill the Nautilus using some of that volley bear damage, but here comes the Olaf, going to do a lot of damage, and Varus is going to go and have to watch him die.
Renekton
But
coming
here
up with
comes
ult and
Expo.
Dominus. He's going to double slice and dice, and Olaf is just out of position, but he gets
here
gets
comes
his
the
ult in time
teleport.
with the TP coming in.
Yeah,
He's going to just
and
chase
that's
down the
probably going to
Varus.
be a very
Get the free
dead
kill.
Varus.
And oh god,
And the
what a
knockup coming
fantastic
in.
Teleport.
Oh my god.
This is just got to be a very frustrating game from Expo's perspective.
Expo and Wayman, I would say. I think everyone but Mystery Bunny is having a. I mean, I guess Volibear's doing fine.
Yeah, Volibear's having an alright game. So far, his jungle pathing was good. He has kept his farm is reasonably close to Olaf, especially when you compare the two champions. But all in all, it's just such a tragedy for Mamba Mentality. They've got the right plays in mind, but sometimes that's why you just got to really keep track of like TP timers.
Right.
And the fact that it's really good that Ornn got the kill there, because he was going to be so far behind in XP and gold
Yes.
from TPing and then
true.
having to walk back after dying. Because if he did not get the kill, his lane just would have been ruined. But then again, you would have almost liked to see even more kills on the Olaf, because who would not want to see just Caramel with more
Is
kills?
Expo going to go down here? Because there's going to be Orianna ultimate. It's going to have to flash that. They're going to be Orianna flashing as well. And here comes
this could actually
Applejacks
be
coming out.
Volibear going down.
Applejacks is down a level. That's going to be a level 6. Olaf going to do a lot of damage. Going to try to throw the axe at Expo. Expo's going to dodge it. But there it is. 3-0-3 on the Olaf. Just Caramel once again having a great game. Going to look for potentially trying to kill Expo. Yeah, just going to absolutely demolish Expo. Expo walking back up the top. Very questionable play from Expo there. And that's now a 4-0-3 Olaf. Just Caramel once again having an incredibly dominating performance early in this game. 7 out of 8 kill involvement, just like how last game. I think he had 8 out of 8 at this point. But
see, this is why I don't really care for the Renekton mid pick. It's good for like counter matchups. But like the thing is that like see how much better Ori is navigating this matchup. She's not being pressured. It's not like the same kind of like lane dominant character into like the ranged matchup. And look, Ori is completely prepared for this Renekton. She knows that it's gonna the onus is on her Caitlyn and Olaf to take over this game. So she's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna get tier yet. I'm not gonna get Ludens yet. I'm gonna get Armlet into Ninja Tabi.
Yeah.
She's like, carry me, senpai. Show me how this game rolls, Olaf.
Very
she's just gonna facilitate him. She's just gonna throw the ball on him and just like, oh, that's all she has to do. Oh, we could see a 4-man dive in the bot lane. They're definitely thinking about it. THFS is just too far pushed up. I really doubt they get out of this.
That should be pretty easy. It could be a double kill going over to the Renekton.
This is why you put the pink ward in the river bush, not the lane bush. 2 too much vision was facilitated into that instead of just trying to stay even. It's understandable when you're being lane dominant, but at some point you just got to let your Olaf do what your Olaf's going to do and just not get ganked.
Right.
Especially when mid and jungle were missing for so long. It's just very unfortunate.
Yeah. So it looks like Mamba Mentality now, their focus definitely has to be up in the, I mean, directed camera also know what's up. They're just showing us Vladimir farming over and over for just forever.
Oh, see, Vlad needs no help. He's just like, he's over there taking
Vlad's
place
just
like it's
having a good
Thanksgiving.
time. Yeah.
He's just chilling. Actually, the thing is, though, is that even though... Oh, here comes a dive, actually, in the top lane.
Jesus Christ.
This is an
That's
easy
dead, right?
one, bud.
That's dead, right?
Oh. The fade away.
Oh, my God.
He just flashed for the BM, really.
Yeah. I don't think we steal this one. Yeah. It's going to be the dragon. But, yeah, up in the top lane, they're just going to let Mystery Bunny go crazy on the Vladimir. And they're like, we'll deal with that later. That's a problem for later us in team fights.
If your top laner's winning this hard, I know you want to help your bot lane, and I know you want to get the free kills on Expo, and you just want to sit there and get them going. But like, I would prioritize the Herald. Like, who's gonna stop you when this Vladimir is just running amok?
I wonder, when did this Renekton pick come in? I don't think Orianna's a champion you want to put Renekton into. I think Orianna's pretty good at positioning herself against melee matchups.
I think there's a lot of mid laners that can easily deal with melee matchups.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think especially Orianna is like definitely one of them. Like with the shield, especially with the exhaust, the fact that she can play a bit more supporty and just for the utility.
Yeah, she's got exhaust, a shield, armlet, ninja tabi. Like, she's got a refillable potion.
Yeah, if she didn't have all those things, she may have just died right there. But she has a million things, and oh god, here comes the exhaust, and Applejack's tries to come in. Is gonna have to hop away from the ulting Olaf. And there's going to see Expo going to try to come in and do a lot of damage. But it does do a lot of damage, but not enough damage against the Olaf. And Olaf is going to be able to get out of there. That's going to be another counter gank being successfully executed by Just Caramel.
Just Caramel is asking for it. He's like, please, Expo, please think you can still kill me. Please forget that my Conqueror onto this Aura E is not a thing. I would love to see it. I see Expo is probably going to try to cancel the back here, but that's probably all that's going to be done.
Ooh, max range on the yank from the Nautilus, and that's going to be a double kill going off to Maximus in the bot lane. The bot lane of Mamba Mentality continue to struggle through these two games.
It's just really hard to be a bot lane when the jungle burns all your summoners early, and then you've got to play against the traps of Caitlyn and Nautilus just hooking you over and over again. It gets really hard. That's why it's like, I just would have, like, as much as Varus seems to be a comfort pick, at some point you just have to choose like safer champions. Because now we've got a 3.3k gold lead, including a dragon lead for THFS. And honestly, it just seems like they're almost just running away with this game.
Very, very true. In terms of the schedule, I mean, you could say if the Factory Hive Senior wins this game, then we do move on to our next game a bit closer to schedule, not as late. But that is going to be the shutdown, and we do see coming up to the top lane. They do have the is this man out? He's gonna there's a lot of healing. He's not going to get out. They will be able to eventually take him down.
It's just too much. That was the bright spot of their game.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that.
Orianna fighting back against the Expo, who doesn't have. It's just going to. He does have the flash up. Is going to have to flash the ultimate, but once again showing that the Renekton does not have enough damage to kill the Orianna. Gonna go for the dominance here, and still is gonna be struggling. Still going for it. And maybe actually be going down. And he's going to go and get solo killed. Esper gets solo killed by Limelight. Yeah, the Orianna just can't kill the Orianna like that.
I'm just saying, last game, Orianna was 0-3. Solo kill. I mean, Syndra was solo killed by a Xerath. Like, people weren't expecting big things. But then it goes to show you like how bad this matchup can be and how much Limelight is stepping up.
Very true. Just bought the right things, played safe, bought the armor items, did everything, brought the exhaust to lane, did everything that the Orianna had to do to make sure that she was safe against the Renekton in the mid lane. And now we're seeing a little bit of a negative performance here from Expo, looking 2 and 3 in the mid lane right now.
This might be a little bit of remnant tilt from losing that last game. They definitely felt like they had it in the bag. It's
Mhm.
really hard to come back mentally from a game you feel like you guys should have won, and
Yes,
then it
very
ends
true.
up turning into a loss.
Very, very true.
But honestly, this draft really isn't doing them any favors.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The jungle followed you to the top lane. You thought you were safe?
This bot lane is never safe from this
Oh
Olaf.
no.
Just Caramel hates bot laners
And
everywhere.
here it comes in the bot lane as well with the ignite. That should be the Vladimir going down to Naulus's ignite.
And at this point, it's just hard to say. Like, what do you think Mamba Mentality can do to come back into this game? There's
This
almost
is really
a
rough because
6,000 gold lead.
They don't like scale either. Like I mean, besides Vladimir, like the this is such an early game pick in the Renekton, and the Renekton was not able to do what he needed to do to kind of do his Renekton things in lane. So
You know,
the Renekton is
it's
not
almost
going to
really
be able to
disappointing.
be super powerful here. Gonna try to go for the dive on the killing. Should be able to, but the exhaust. Wait, was that exhaust? Yeah, that was an exhaust
Yep.
by the Caitlyn. And Expo going to die again? Expo's going to die again. But here comes a super fast Vladimir coming at the speed of sound.
Having to do everything to get it though. That's so many summoners down to kill
That's
somebody
true.
who
The
you
Nami
almost would
did
have
take
expected to already
ignite.
die.
And now here we come, Applejacks. Here comes the rest of the Factory Hive Senior. More
And
yanks
Olaf is
by
never
the
done.
Nautilus. And Olaf is here as well. Super Qs. We're going to see the ultimate from coming out of Applejacks. That looks like that should be a dead Mystery Bunny. That will be a dead Mystery Bunny. The score is now 19-8. Very much so in favor of the Factory Hive Senior. They're going to drop the Rift Herald as well. And they are up 7K at 16 minutes. That's going to transition to a Dragon as well. And oh my God, these are not looking good for Mamba Mentality.
Dude, as a jungler, how am I supposed to follow up in this next game when you've got somebody like Just Caramel playing? Like, how is my performance supposed to look anything near this guy? Like, Jesus.
I forgot. Yeah,
My
you're playing
team's
in
gonna
the
be
next.
sitting there and being like, "Hey, Just Caramel might be a free agent, dude. I don't know if you're performing, man." Like, I have to admit, it almost makes me scared, and it should probably make the rest of the league scared because there's nothing that flips matchups, which could even normally be favored for other people, than a dominant jungler.
Yeah, this jungler right now is looking incredibly dominant, and they're making Expo look not so dominant, actually. We spoke high praises by Expo coming into the season, coming into this matchup, and Expo had a pretty good game one, but is looking definitely to not be having a good game two. This Renekton pick, and this is something that we kind of discussed about Expo before in the past in interviews, that his champion pull in mid lane is kind of, well, just, I mean, he seems to be able to play anything, but it doesn't seem like he always picks the best choices, because people give Expo like freedom to pick what he wants, and sometimes it's a little bit troll. So this could be one of those cases, going with the very non-meta mid laner here. Kind of think that he can kind of pull something off, and that's going to be a lot of damage coming out of the Orianna. Can they get the kill before Orianna's able to kill the Varus? That is not going to happen. But here comes the rest of the team going to chase out the Orianna, but the Olaf is here too. We're going to see the dominance coming up. Expo going to try and kill Just Caramel, but Just Caramel is Olaf. Olaf has a lot of life still at low health, and that's going to be another kill going over to Olaf. And here comes the Axe, is going to go ahead and kill the Nami on the tower as well. That's going to be another double kill going over to Olaf. Now 9-0-6 on this Olaf. It's 22-8. They are now down 9K. They will get the tower in the bot lane, but the enemy team got the tower in the top lane. And it's getting a little bit out of hand. I think that's a very correct
It's almost
way
a 10,000
to
gold
talk about
lead,
it. Yeah.
and it's not even 20 minutes in.
Yeah,
They also have a
going
2 dragon
very
lead.
poorly
Wow.
for Mamba Mentality here. The game 2 adjustment was not there.
But the thing is as dominant as this jungle has been, you can't even say it's just jungle diff, because like the sheer amount of like how they've been, like how THFS is playing against, like with them, is so different compared to even game 1. Like
Right.
the mid laner Limelight, he has stabilized so well and has
Very
really
true.
taken this matchup in one go. Like the fact that somebody went 0-3-0 in lane phase and then ends up 19 minutes in being 3-1-5, looking this good, it's great to see.
Yeah, it's very true. Can they kill Just Caramel here? Is it
I don't
happening?
think Olaf gets out of this one.
Oh, and the
That's
BM
not
walk
who you wanna
away.
put-
Oh, he
not who you wanna
almost
put
got
the shutdown on.
You're very correct. Can Mystery
I just-
Bunny bring it back on the Vladimir?
Honestly, probably not still.
Yeah, probably. But
Probably not.
know, it's nice that he got the money. He got the cash.
If there's anyone you wanted to get that cash, it's definitely on Vladimir though. So like
Yeah.
if THFS like over-aggress, because like we've seen a lot of over-aggression between these two teams, like this Vladimir can definitely run amok on that enemy team.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
it's
It's
probably
not. It's
Mamba's
not
mentality's
impossible.
best thing going in.
Yeah, it's not impossible. Like the scaling is not completely one-sided. The Vladimir will be very strong in the late game. It's not impossible. It will be difficult into the Ornn comp. There will
But
be
see,
some magic
that's the
resistance being
thing is
built up
like,
too. Like they will definitely get some MR.
uh,
Vladimir is not going for magic for like void staff or anything. Looks like he's probably going for as much damage as he can get. I'm imagining he's going for the Wayman 1 and 5. What the fuck is going on, dude? Very good question. Wayman is not looking great in this. And he's going up against a gold ADC too, but the enemy jungler though has been all up in
Hey.
their grill.
I have to admit that Caitlyn may be gold, but I'm actually pretty surprised by her mechanics. Caitlyn has been playing games generally like pretty well.
Yeah, she definitely has been playing. She's been playing very well.
But see, that's like the beauty of competitions like this is like you can't always judge people based off of their elo or their
Right.
MMR because people will play easily above their level and make you even question why they are ranked the way they are.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
competitive
And also like competitive play, playing with the sport that you can actually communicate with. Like it's very different performing in competitive compared to performing in solo queue, right? So like just having a team that you can communicate with, having a jungle that'll actually gank whenever you ask for a gank and whenever the lave's actually in a good position. Like just all these things kind of, so like, you know, you're definitely gonna perform better as well with like more gold.
Oof, Expo might be a little bit caught out. You've got Nautilus and Olaf coming in. There's not an inner turret to stop it. The flash is burnt. It's just so hard to be Expo right now.
Yeah, it really is. Fluffy, you could also say Expo 2, 5, and 2. What's going on? Like, there's some things that we don't normally see going on in this game right now.
Olaf running it down. We're gonna have to see
Nautilus is on point with his yanks.
He is. He definitely might be shoring up some of the weaknesses Caitlyn may have, but Caitlyn in the late game has shown that she can be extremely competent, especially during the base defenses that she's had. A few like mistakes here and there getting caught out, which could have been costly in the game one, but like I mean, so far she's not even really asked to do much in these games. Third Drake going the way of THFS.
Orianna is a target that Vladimir can. Yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to say. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, she's still dead, but you know.
Yeah, but this gives.
I was about to say, I was literally in the middle of saying, oh, Orianna does not have a lot of MR. Orianna's a target that Vladimir could try and kill, and then Vladimir was like, yep, you're right.
But see, this is what happens when you've got no strong Vlad.
Oh, no.
You just get to have like a very good Olaf just running it down mid lane. There's no team fight left.
The team is going to get completely annihilated as they do not have the Vladimir. I'm not sure what Vladimir could have even done there as they just absolutely run down Mamba mentality.
Also, the Molten Edge also coming in for Caitlyn. And then now this should just be an easy Baron. I don't think they can even do anything about it. This gold lead is just still spiraling out of control.
It definitely is.
Another adaptation I really like to see out of Olaf is the fact that he got that early executioner. So even if Vlad managed to team fight, the reduced healing, including just all of the CC and damage coming out of like THFS, like I'm just not sure if Mamba has like the tools to be able to win this game. The Knight's Vow coming in to protect the Molten Edge Caitlyn. She's basically close to 3 items. You've got an Olaf who already has 3 completed items following an Executioners. You've got Ornn in general who can just build whatever and be at any CS deficit and be one of the best tanks in the game. And then you've got Ori who's 3-2-5. Like that's still super commendable coming back from such a mental game as the previous game.
Very true. And also, Ethereal, very correct. Almost a Flame Horizon there in the top lane with the Vladimir. But, I mean, we'll see if that is that enough. Orianna's also been CSing very well, just with her keeping safe with her items, just clearing waves in the mid lane. Orianna has a lot of CS as well. The Vladimir does some damage, but not a lot of damage. You can see there, not able to just like blow anyone up right now. And literally does no damage to Ornn, essentially. And that's going to be the engage onto
Vlad goes down here. This might just be game.
And Vladimir is dead. And here comes Olaf on the rest of the team with the double kill. Vladimir is gone.
This actually could easily be game. All they have to do is push in the turret and then tank for the minions. Ornn can do that all day long.
And huge crits coming out of the Caitlyn.
Oh, their minion wave already died behind them. That's very unfortunate. So they might just get an inhib out of this. But honestly, I think they could push through to end if they really wanted to.
It's very true.
But then again, when you've got this kind of lead and you can get the 4th Drake, you don't even really have to.
Yeah, you
just
don't
do
have
whatever
to.
you
Yeah,
want.
you can
But
definitely play safe. But it looks like they
I-
are going to go onto the Nexus towers. There's some damage that do
that's still
have.
the right call. But as you
Oh,
can see,
gonna try
Mamba
and jump
mentality.
in. They're doing a lot of damage. Renekton is going to get the Olaf. However, that is going to be the ace. And there is going to be some damage going onto the Nexus towers. A lot of damage coming out of Caitlyn. And there is the second Nexus tower going to be down. Orianna hitting the Nexus. Vladimir is back up. Vladimir is probably going to push him out of base here if I was to imagine. This is going to be the exhaust. Orianna will be dead.
Taking one for the team, making
Yep.
sure to that Vladimir couldn't follow for the other squishies. Valiant last stand by Mamba mentality, but I don't think the last stands are really going to amount to much.
Right, right.
If the best you could do is like stop them from ending the Nexus, but you still lose 2 of your Nexus turrets.
Jungle weak roll.
This game is all on
Whoever said
Vlad's
that
back.
Jungle's a weak roll? Jungle's a massively strong roll, I think.
I think every role is actually generally pretty decent right now, to be honest.
You think so? You think it's pretty?
Yep.
It's pretty evened out.
Because like the way I see it is like even though top lane is an island and it's hard to carry from top lane sometimes, especially if your bot lane gets smashed. But like you generally allow your jungler to get like easy heralds, and just with the sheer amount of like experience difference you can get by being multiple levels ahead, like allows you to carry from top side. But like the thing is like who isn't fed on THFS right now? This Caitlyn also realizing the win condition of Mamba mentality is Vladimir basically killing the squishies in the background, grabs the Hex Drinker. I love to see adaptations like this. And man, this Olaf just grabbing a mortal reminder just to remind them like he's going to show them a bad time.
A little bit of a reminder.
Oh, this could actually be a great team fight for Mamba mentality, but even then they're so far behind, it just seems like the Olaf can't be stopped. And wow, Mamba mentality went down in the blink of an eye, and that was probably about the best a fight could have gone, except with like the Verisol not landing.
That is going to be a GG for TFHS getting the 2-0 versus Mamba mentality. Mamba mentality not having a great first match. Going down 0-2 to the team that they were expected to win against, to be honest. If you just looked at this pure rank disparity between the two teams, you did expect Mamba mentality to have this matchup. But TFHS coming in with the emergency sub, they did get a stronger jungler at the end, and that jungler definitely did carry those 2 games. So we'll see how it goes on from here on out for the rest of the season. But there are the wait, you guys can't see the damage charts. 1 second. There it is. Look at that. The damage charts. GG to the Factory Hive Senior, that team right there. Good GG to them. And you see the Vladimir did crazy amounts of damage. Vladimir tried his hardest. He doubled everyone else's damage on the team. But the Olaf comes in and carries harder. They look like Mamba mentality.
Olaf was so much better, like so much better in these games than like the jungler of Mamba mentality. But like the damage charts to me tell like a complete story that it was just a breakdown also in the mid and bot lane. Because like the fact that a jungler like who's easily kiteable, especially in a comp that was super behind, did pretty much comparative damage to his Varus and Renekton mid lane, show that honestly the comp wasn't that great and that they did not like lose gracefully. Like the jungler should not be matching the damage stats of what is considered laners who get such higher econ potential and are considered higher damage threats than a full tank Volibear. Sure, Volibear is really strong and he had great ults, but like it just goes to show like almost a full team breakdown except in the top lane.
Very, very true.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and let you end this. I'm going to go pop in, talk to my team, and see what's going on.
All right, sounds good. And then we will get ready for the next game. That means and Defiance is actually in that game. We should be having what's that? CA Toff versus the Comfy Gaming. Both of these teams also featuring mostly new players. CA Toff is a captain by Alexis, who we've seen for the past 3 seasons. So we should see that. And we'll guess as I think Jacob will be joining me in the casting booth now here as well. Whenever we get that started. Yes, sir. Disposable smiles. All right, man. I'll see you here. Let's get the music started and we'll set up the stuff for the next game. We'll be back here shortly.
I thought you'd always let your guard down, down, down. Thought you'd always let your guard down, 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 down.